Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me this evening for our CAA North and East Travel Talk. My name is Patricia, and I'm the Managing Director of our Travel and Membership Sales team. And joining us tonight is my dear friend Andrea, who is the Regional Sales Manager for Windstar. Welcome, Andrea, and I'm happy to see you.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be with you, Patricia, as always.
Before we get started, I did want to share a few facts about CAA travel and some of the exclusive benefits that we have available for our members. I think one of the things whenever I'm talking to a member that always seems to surprise them is the fact that we are a full service travel agency and we've actually been selling travel agency services since 1961. It's just something that I'm incredibly proud of. And that's why we always talk about traveling with someone you trust. And our travel consultants and travel agents are actually here to help you. You can reach us on our website. You can email our associate. You can give them a phone call or you can visit them in person. We have store in Thunder Bay and in North Bay, Sudbury, and we have 3 locations in Ottawa. We have one in Orleans, one in Ottawa proper, and our Stittsville location. And our travel consultants specialize in worldwide vacations and travel planning, not just road trips. A lot of people think of us as for maps and tour books, but that cruise, that Windstar cruise that you guys are wanting, we are the right place to book with. The other thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that as a non-for-profit organization, we're really encouraged to negotiate with our wonderful partners like Andrea and Windstar Cruises to get CAA exclusive travel member benefits on tours, car rentals, hotel stays, and cruises, as well. We have a program called CAA Vacations, which is a collection of cruises and guided tours that add additional value exclusive for members that you can't find anywhere else. And then on top of this, we call this our stackable benefits. We have this and we have this and we have more. We actually have an opportunity for you as a member to save up to 20% on travel insurance. And that includes medical, trip cancellation and interruption, rental, a vehicle, and baggage loss as well. We in store do free printed passport photos for CAA Premier and Plus members. And then for Everyday and Classic, it's only $8.50, which is a considerable savings over what passport photos are going for now. And on top of all of this, if you collect CAA dollars, you can use them to further reduce the cost of your trip. And CAA is the exclusive issuer of international driving permit. If you are looking to travel and rent a car abroad, you're going to come to the CAA store to get your what we call IDP. We have, as I said, the savings on travel insurance, but up to 20% savings on any of our luggage or accessories that are inside the store. And one of our great rewards partners, Shell, has savings of 3 cents a liter on fuel, 10% off on car washes, 10% off on in-store purchases as well at participating Shell locations. Pretty awesome, eh, Andrea?
I couldn't agree more. That's why we love working with you.
That's right. It's all about our members. Before we get started with Andrea, we're going to introduce to some of you, because a lot of you may not have heard about this as well, but our newest member benefit is CAA Delay Pass. And that's your ticket to comfort in case your flight gets delayed by 60 minutes or more. You can look for more information of this on our website, which is caaNEO.ca. You can become eligible CAA Premier members. You can register your flights directly, and all other CAA members will be eligible for Delay Pass if they book their trip through our CAA NEO travel agency.
Fabulous.
Great. So, Andrea, before you get started, I wanted to show everybody on this call. Do you recognize this?
I know that is your key to your beautiful suite on Windstar.
That's right. I proudly still have this because my Windstar cruise around, we did a circumnavigation of Iceland, was one of the most exceptional experiences ever. And that's why I was happy to be asked to co-host this event with you, because I can honestly say to our members that are joining us that Windstar is incredible. And I just can't wait for them to see your presentation.
Thank you, Patricia. And I have to say to everybody who's on the call, and thank you all for joining us. That was truly unsolicited. I didn't know you were going to do that, but I'm thrilled. And in fact, you were on one of these beautiful ships that you see in the picture right here.
There
But
was.
I'm certainly excited to explain the product and what we have to offer to all your guests with us this evening. Thank you for the invitation. And everybody, as Patricia said, you get special member benefits. We are a proud preferred partner of CAA. And as such, Windstar Cruises gives CAA members a member benefit when you sail with us and come and sail with us. But I've got a lot more in store with you, for you tonight. Again, my name is Andrea Mendelson. I am responsible for working with all the travel agencies in Canada, and it's always my pleasure to be asked to present to CAA and their clients.
The wind and stars have guided seafarers for millennia, and now it's your turn to discover their magic on Windstar's iconic Wind class and luxurious all-suite Star Plus class yachts. Revel in the nautical traditions of the sea as white sails unfurl, pulling you towards hidden lagoons and untouched beaches on our Wind class. Or rejoice in the newly transformed Star Plus class with 277 square foot minimum suites that promise a constellation of comforts and amenities beyond your wildest dreams. No matter which yacht you choose, you'll jump directly off the water sports platform at the back of the ship and can join your captain for navigation lessons on the open bridge. Customize your experience with all-inclusive or cruise-only fares. Come, the wind and stars are waiting. Wherever you want to go, Windstar knows the way.
Well, I hope that got some juices flowing, everybody, because I wanted to give you just a little insight and a little overview as to who we are and to why we truly are 180 degrees from ordinary. And we pride ourselves in saying that because when you think about it, if you do a 360, you start at point A and you end up at point A. But going 180 degrees is truly going to take you in a different direction. And no matter which type of ship you come on with Windstar Cruises, we're going to ensure that you all get that 180 degree from ordinary experience. What you probably saw, I know it was a very short video, but it had a lot of messages. I'm going to elaborate on them. But you obviously saw that we have two types of ships, our sailing ships that we call our Wind class and our motorized yachts that we call our Star class fleet. And for what it's worth, the wind ships, the sailing ships, and everybody might think, wow, the romance of the sails, and it is wonderful. However, even though this is a sailing experience, it is still a cruise. Nobody stands barefoot on Windstar and helps raise the sails. Our guests will stand with a cocktail or a drink in their hand as these sails hydraulically unfurl and we sail from one beautiful destination to the other. The other type of ship that we have, our Star class, are motorized yachts. You will see they don't have the sails, but these are all suite ships. Every single one of our suites on our Star class, or what we call staterooms on our Wind class ships, are all ocean view. Whether it's a porthole, a panoramic window, a French balcony, or a sit-out veranda, every single cabin, if you will, is an ocean view. Windstar doesn't know what an inside cabin is. Let me very quickly introduce you to our fleet. On the top, you will see three sister ships, the Star Legend, the Star Breeze, and the Star Pride. And these three beautiful ships come to us from another luxury cruise line, Seabourn Cruises. We purchased them in 2011 and we refurbished them. We put them in the water, and when they sailed out, they could accommodate 212 guests. Small, we want that intimate ship experience. We want you to feel like you're traveling on your own private yacht. However, more and more people wanted to sail on Windstar Cruises. And along came COVID, and we couldn't get another brand new ship. We took all three of these ships into a dockyard in Palermo, Sicily. We did a remarkable engineering feat where we split them all down the middle, we stretched them, we added in an 84-foot prefabricated section, and now that they're all stuck together properly, we have added the capacity of an additional 100 guests on each ship. These three beautiful sister ships are the same. They all sail now with 312 guests. Think of that. These are our biggest ships. Can you imagine? 312 guest capacity are part of our biggest fleet of our biggest ships in the fleet. On the bottom right and the bottom left-hand side, you'll see the Wind Spirit and the Windstar. These two sister ships are the same, and they only accommodate 148 guests. You heard me mention we want everybody to have that intimate ship experience, to feel like you're traveling on your own private yacht. How better than with 147 other guests? It really is a beautiful experience. And then the grand dam of our fleet, if you will, our flagship, the Windsurf, actually is our biggest ship with 342 guests. Now, the sailing ships do well in warmer waters. We cleverly deploy them to places like the Caribbean, like Tahiti, French Polynesia, which I'm going to speak with you about, as well as to the warmer destinations in the Mediterranean. Lots of opportunities. We have a wonderfully robust portfolio of destinations, not all of them that I can talk about, but I hope I'm getting you excited to speak to your CAA, any travel agent, to find out a lot more. We're excited. We've been having 6 ships in our fleet for the longest time, but we are excited to have been able to introduce a brand spanking new ship. She came to us at the end of 2025. She was christened in Miami in January 2026, and then we sent her to the Caribbean to do her inaugural sailing. She is called the Star Seeker, and she's going to join our Star Class fleet. However, she is quite different to the other ships that have 312 guests. On those ships, we have French balconies on some of our cabins, French or Juliet balconies. This beautiful brand new ship has been done from the bottom up, so really from the frame up, to meet our specification. And she's quite different. She's going to be joined by another ship, her sister ship, that's coming to us at the end of this year. She'll be launched in early 2027, called the Star Explorer. These two ships are absolutely spectacular. I'm just going to go back very quickly. They can accommodate only 224 guests. You can hear that this is a real small ship ambiance and a small ship experience. And what is that 180 degrees from ordinary that we offer is because we're small, we're able to go off the beaten path into the small little ports, into the little motus, into the little bays and harbors that the big ships simply can't get to. What is, again, our 180 degrees? As I mentioned to you, and let me say at this point, for those of you, and I'm sure there are many of you, if you have done a river cruise, if you love that small ship experience, stopping right in port, stepping on and off the ship, that is the experience that in many instances Windstar provides. Because we're small, we can dock right in port or berth right in port, unlike the big ships that have to anchor way out to sea and then you've got to tender in for a long time. We, like a river cruise experience in many, not all, in many ports, are able to dock right there, and it's an easy on and off. If we can't, because the pier is too small and we can't dock right there, we are a short way away. Your tender ride in is very short, 5-10 minutes away. It is a very different experience from what you imagine being on an enormous ship. I mentioned to you, we go off the beaten path. If there's a big ship in one side of the port, we can kind of go round the corner, if you will, to a different side and get you to experience what you truly want to experience in the first place. We want to give you a true, authentic, and immersive experience in the destinations, the very unique destinations that we're able to take you to. We don't just want you, our guests, to get to a destination, to check it off your bucket list, to buy a souvenir, to take a picture, to quickly have something to drink and eat, and then you know you've got to stand in a long line to get to the tender, to go all the way back to the ship. Like a river cruise experience, but we're on the ocean. We can arrive early in the morning. We leave late at night. In many instances, we have a wonderful overnight in amazing ports that I'm going to share with you as well. We're truly going to create memories that we say will last a lifetime, but we don't want you to come on Windstar and for that to be your once-in-a-lifetime experience. Trust me, we know that once you come on board, you're going to want to hopefully come back many more times. I hope that I see many of you on the call tonight, on the webinar tonight, and you might be wondering, well, I don't really know too much about Windstar, but I wonder if I'm the right person for Windstar Cruises. Who is our typical demographic? Well, I hate to put a finite age because, let me say, from the get-go. We don't confirm children under the age of 8. You won't find young families with young children. We're too small to cater and have children's meals, children's club. We certainly don't have a zip line or a racetrack. But you might find a young couple that have said to their parents or their in-laws, you look after the grandkids, we're going on Windstar. There's no real age, but if you're looking for the highest demographic of guests that come, I'm going to say it's between 45 onwards. It's for people who want a true, authentic experience in many unique destinations that only a small ship can take you to. What is life on board? Well, sometimes there's an assumption or a presumption that, oh, well, this is a small ship. It's got to be very snobby or snooty. On the contrary, Windstar Cruises is very laid back. It is a very, very casual environment. And this is what we want for our guests. This is going to be your vacation. We don't want the formality of having to wear formal gowns and gentlemen in jackets and ties. That is not what we want on Windstar Cruises. We talk about understated elegance. We like to say we've coined the phrase country club casual. So gentlemen, you can come in dark jeans, in khakis, and a short sleeve golf shirt. Ladies, we can go whether it's pants or a skirt, whatever it is that we feel comfortable in an elegant way just for dinner. It really is that laid back, and let me say, very unpretentious experience. There's none of the snooty or snobbiness on board Windstar Cruises. Much that when you want to come into our main dining room, we don't require reservations. How nice to be in a port enjoying this new exciting destination, or even if you've been there before, enjoying the sights, maybe doing some shopping, maybe even playing off our water sports platform. You don't feel like leaving what you're doing because you have a set reservation each and every night. We say come during meal hours whenever you want. We can accommodate a table for 2, 4, 6. We are there to give you the vacation that you want. No formal nights, as I've mentioned, and no making reservations in our main dining room. However, on the different ships, we have specialty dining rooms. As you know, many of the cruise lines require you to pay an upcharge or a surcharge if you go to a specialty dining room, not on Windstar Cruises. But we do ask that everybody makes a reservation just because we want everybody to have a chance. Sometimes there's an opportunity to go back more than once if everybody's had a chance, or some people say, well, I prefer to go to the main dining room. As long as you make a reservation, but again, there is no additional charge. People might think, well, it's such a small ship, is there going to be room for me? Absolutely. It's all about being relaxed. It's all about not having that frenetic urgency to pull the short straw, if you will. Get up early in the morning, go and put a towel on a deck chair to save your space. You don't need to do that with Windstar Cruises. For the most part, we're very port-centric, meaning we're in port most of the time. You're going to see very few at-sea days, unless, of course, you're doing an ocean crossing. You're going to spend more time on the ship, of course. But again, there is room for everybody. There's no jostling for space. There's no lining up. You don't need to be first in line for the tender. There is space for everybody. And we truly engage with our guests. Let me tell you that our crew, from the officers down to everybody, get to know who you are. They know your name on day 2. They know your preferences, which truly is really what I feel makes you feel like a VIP. There's nothing nicer than somebody saying, Miss Patricia, would you like your vodka cocktail? Would you like your skim milk? Whatever it is, we get to know you as if you are, again, traveling on your own private yacht. We have an open bridge policy. How wonderful. We don't have yellow tape restricting you from going anywhere or a red rope not allowing you in. Our captain actually has a special brew coffee. He invites guests in the morning, or go in while we're sailing under the stars at night and meet the crew and see how we're sailing the ship. It is a wonderful, wonderful experience. Now, I'm thrilled to say that currently now all 7 and then soon to be all 8 of our ships do have a marina or a water sports platform. When we're not docked right in port, because we can't lower it when we're right against the pier, when it's safe to do so, and of course when the weather is conducive, we will open our water sports platform or our marina, and we invite guests to take advantage of all the complimentary water sports, whether it's snorkeling, kayaking, paddleboarding. You can see that we've got something called an aqua banners over here where we create like a swimming pool in the ocean. It is a fun experience to dive off the back of the ship. But for those of you who think, oh, Andrea, I'm not that energetic, I don't feel like all that activity, we have flotation mattresses. It is just a lovely experience to take advantage of this. And again, other than scuba diving, all this is complimentary. I hope I've got, as I say, I've whet your appetites. But speaking of appetites, I want you to know people would say, well, this is sounding good. I'm excited, but I wonder what the food is like. I don't know whether or not you've attended many of these CAA Northeastern Ontario webinars or events. Nobody is ever going to say, our food is average, our food is mediocre. We're all going to say to you, our food is the best. And I'm going to say that, but I can substantiate that because this year we celebrated our 10th anniversary partnership with the James Beard Foundation. James Beard is an organization that recognizes globally top chefs, top sommeliers, top mixologists. They come and train our crew how to create the most delicious, delectable meals that we serve on board. And in answer to a potential question that I'm anticipating, yes, we do cater to every and all special dietary requirements. Again, you will let your CAA travel agent know. They will advise us, and our chefs will come to you the night prior to the next day's meals and discuss what's on the menu and make sure that we cater to you and your specific needs. For those of you who are true foodies and want that true foodie, that Epicurean experience, we have several James Beard Foundation themed cruises where you will actually sail with a James Beard Foundation chef. You will do cooking demonstrations. You will participate in wine pairings, whiskey pairings, shop with chef. Where we go, we have to replenish. We go into the little markets, in the little villages, in the little towns, and you would do taste tests, send the food back to the ship, and have these wonderful meals created. Ask again your CAA, any travel agent, to look for these themed cruises. Or you can go yourselves and look on our website and get your CAA travel advisor or travel agent to book that you. Now, when you go online, if you do, I want you to know at this point in time, it is a windstarcruises.com website. The prices currently are shown in US dollars, but it is very important for you all to know we price in Canadian dollars for our Canadian partners. When you look on our online and see some of the prices, pretty much on Windstar Cruises, it's a cruise-only cruise fare. What does that include? Of course, all your meals, as I mentioned to you, even in the specialty dining restaurants, all your non-alcoholic beverages. On other cruise lines, you have to pay for your specialty coffees and teas. Not on Windstar Cruises. That is all included. Your lattes, your cappuccinos, your specialty teas, your pop or your soda, your bottled water, all included. We do, however, charge for alcoholic beverages. You can either travel cruise only, or you may say to your CAA travel agent, just get it all in for me. I can't be bothered. I don't want to worry. Am I ordering a $12 glass of wine or a $10 glass of wine? I just want it all included. We offer an all-inclusive package, and it works out to 134 Canadian dollars per person per day. What does that include? It includes unlimited alcohol, unlimited wine by the glass, beer, and cocktails. You don't want to have to worry and think, am I close to my 15 drinks a day, which includes tea in a paper cup? I just want to have it all included. Unlimited alcoholic beverages. We provide Wi-Fi on 2 devices per person, and this includes the gratuities. It is a great, great package. However, some of you might be sitting together on this call and saying to each other, well, it's a bit of a waste for me because I don't drink that much. I might have a cocktail before dinner, or I might have a glass of wine at dinner. We allow on Windstar Cruises, which a lot of the other companies don't do, we allow one guest in the same suite or stateroom to purchase the all-in package, and for the other guest to buy cruise only. We make it very, very fair. We don't mandate that everybody has to buy the beverage package. However, I won't stop talking because you can see I'm a bit of a talker here, but I want to just stop the presentation because I want to add in at this point, we have a wonderful promotion going on at the moment. It has been on for quite some time, but it's to make a booking by the 31st of March, 2026 to sail by the end of March the 31st, 2027. Speak to your CAA travel agent and let them find you a suitable cruise to sail between now and the end of March next year. And what are we offering? We are giving everybody the free all-in package. While some people might say, well, it doesn't matter for me because I don't drink, you're still getting the Wi-Fi, you're getting the gratuities included. We are giving, depending on the length of your cruise, amazing shipboard credit. And even though I mentioned we are well priced for you in Canadian dollars, the Canadian dollar price that your CAA travel agent says to you it's going to be, will be the price that you pay at final payment. You're not going to have to depend on the rate of exchange from US to Canadian. That doesn't happen. We will price you in Canadian dollars, but whatever you get on board the ship is going to be in US dollars. If you're doing, for example, a 7-night cruise, each guest will get $500 US to spend on the ship. You can put that towards shore excursions, you can go to the spa, you can use it in the shop. 10 to 13 day itineraries will give you $700 US per person, and 14 days or more, we're giving guests $1,000 US per person to spend on the ship, shipboard credit. In addition, I want to add that any cruise with Windstar that is more than 14 days, we give all guests free daily laundry as well. Everybody, come for us along. We've got 52-day itineraries. Our president will be sailing on some amazing itineraries. Take a normal size suitcase, unpack once, and you've got your free laundry. If you put something on and you think, I don't feel like wearing this, I think I'm going to send it to the laundry, you put it in your little laundry bag, you put it outside your suite, it's hanging up in your closet the next day. This is a wonderful benefit. In addition, in some of the ports and where we can get hotel accommodation, we are going to be giving a free pre-night hotel before you sail on the ship. It cannot be used at the end, but in many, many instances, there are some exceptions. We're going to include a complimentary pre-night hotel. It is a wonderful offer. Speak to your travel agent at CAA. Make sure that your cruise ends by the end of March 2027, and you're going to have an amazing, amazing time. Let me get you a little bit more excited and talk about some of our destinations. As I mentioned to you, we have a very robust portfolio. You can certainly go online and check out our new website or speak to your travel agent at CAA and let them give you a brochure. We're kind of coming to the end of our current brochure. It goes to mid-2026. Our new brochure will be coming out. The best option for you is really to look online or ask your CAA travel agent to help you with suggestions. But let's talk about some of our most popular destinations, and one of them in particular is French Polynesia or Tahiti. We are there all year round. You have to believe and know that we are doing it and we do it right. We have weekly departures, and just if you can cast your mind back to the picture that I showed you about all of the ships, one of the small ships, the Wind Spirit, that only has 148 guests, used to be in Tahiti. But more and more and more guests said, you know what, we want to do Tahiti. We want to do it on Windstar. There's not enough capacity. In February 2024, we moved that ship to Greece to be with her sister ship. And we brought in a beautiful, our Star Class ship, the Star Breeze, with 312 guests. Still small enough to go into the little bays and to get you to the little motus and into the little harbors. We now have added capacity in Tahiti. And again, we do wonderful programs where we partner with Air Tahiti Nui, where we provide air, hotel, and cruise programs. We would get you from Los Angeles to Papeete in Tahiti. You would do your cruise, and then we get you back from Papeete to Los Angeles. But because we got such a great airfare with Air Tahiti Nui, we bring our guests in a day prior to the cruise. We provide hotel accommodation at the fabulous Intercontinental Hotel, and we include the transfers. We would do a transfer from the airport in Papeete to the hotel, Intercontinental Hotel, to the cruise ship, from the cruise ship on the day of departure, back to the Intercontinental Hotel because the flight leaves late at night. We give you a full use of the hotel, the resort during the day, and we transfer you back to the airport. And then, of course, your CAA agent will make arrangements for you to fly from Los Angeles to your home base, whether it's Ottawa, Toronto, wherever you are based. Our main cruise that we do, because we're there all year round, is a 7-night Dreams of Tahiti. We do what we call the Society Islands. We go to all the beautiful destinations, Moorea, Bora Bora, Wahine. And on all our itineraries, we do what we call a destination discovery event. It's complimentary for everybody. Here, after everybody has a glorious time in Bora Bora, whether you're just sunbathing, whether you're doing shore excursions, we take all our guests on a little catamaran to our private motu, and we have a fabulous Tahitian feast. Then the ladies come and do their dances, and then these men come and do a fire dance. And honestly, everybody, it's the highlight of this cruise. It is just spectacular. Not to mention all the beautiful destinations that you go to see with turquoise, azure waters. It is absolutely beautiful.
What does it mean when we say Windstar knows the way to Europe? It means we know the way to create more time, opportunity, freedom. Select a destination, choose your adventure, and fully immerse yourself like a local. Serving just 148 to 342 guests, our sailing and all-suite yachts are guided by the wind and the stars to nearly 75 itineraries and more than 150 ports throughout Europe. Our private yacht-style cruises deliver you to the doorways of intimate, iconic European settings in France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece, Croatia, Iceland, Norway, and more. With Windstar, coming on board feels like coming home. Personal service and genuine hospitality are provided by friendly crew members who know your name and your tastes. Our casual, welcoming atmosphere means you can relax and be yourself. On board each of our yachts, every meal is a world-class dining experience. Our acclaimed chefs create fresh, regional dishes, delivering flavour from port to plate. You may choose to indulge in exceptional local or global cuisines, created and served daily. Cruise anywhere you like, any way you like. The possibilities are limitless. For a European cruise that's 180 degrees from ordinary, Windstar knows the way.
Yes, everybody, not only French Polynesia or Tahiti, but we really are extending ourselves in Europe, and I'm going to talk about the other destinations that we're going to. You're looking at this and you're thinking, who goes to the Mediterranean all year round? We do. We're certainly there in the summer months, in the beautiful hot months when it's, wonderful to be there and glorious weather. But we are there during what we call winter months. We used to call this winter Mediterranean, and then we thought, coming from Canada, the connotation doesn't sound great, because what do we think of when we think winter? The weather that we're having right now. Please believe me, and I'm sure you know, winter in the Mediterranean is not like winter in Canada. The temperatures range, I have been there at that time, between 15 and 24 degrees. It is absolutely a wonderful time to go. Think about it. The heat has dissipated. The crowds have thinned out. You're not going to have throngs and throngs of people. And this is a wonderful time, albeit the fact you're not going to go and lie in the sun, but you're going to have a fabulous time and an easy time getting into the galleries, getting into the museums, the bars, the restaurants, and again, getting to see everything without those throngs of people. We are fantastic overnights in really iconic cities. Again, it's not this frenetic rush where you have only a few hours to see destinations. Let me talk about Rome. Every single cruise ship, no matter who you are, big or small, has to dock in a port called Civitavecchia. From there to the center of Rome to see everything and all the sights, it's a 1.5 hour train ride or bus ride or even car ride. The cruise lines say, well, you've got a few hours, but you've got to be back on time, because if the ship departs and you miss the ship, you're responsible. We say no, there's too much to see in this iconic city. We do an overnight there, and we allow guests, obviously, to use the ship as a hotel. Come and go as you please. Do your own thing and take advantage of getting to immerse yourself in this amazing city. The same with Venice. You might think, who goes into Venice? We do. We sail down the Grand Canal, and let me tell you, everybody, when you step on or off the ship, you are right in Venice. We don't dock in Trieste. We are not 100 miles away and you have to taxi in. This is right in the heart of Venice. But we know there's more to see than just the Doge Palace and St. Mark's Square. You want to see Murano, you want to see Burano, and you can't do that if you've just got 6 hours to spend in these ports. Nice, as an example, a beautiful city in and of itself. But will you get the chance to go to Aix and see Aix Village and Monaco? No, not if you have a few hours. And of course, the same with Barcelona, with many sites, beautiful art to see, the Sagrada Familia. You want to have time to see it all. Patricia, you might be getting excited again, but we do a fabulous season in Iceland. It's an expensive city. I won't say it's hard to get there. In fact, it's easy to get there with really easy airfare. That makes it convenient. But it is an expensive city, and if people are going to ride around or drive around the ring road trying to get to see all the sights, it's really, really difficult. What better way to go? And we go in an anti-clockwise direction from Reykjavik all the way back to Reykjavik. You're not going to get to see all these amazing ports of call if you are driving yourself or if you are on a motor coach tour. There is no better way than getting to see all these places and doing some amazing cruise tours while you are there. The land of fire and ice, if you will. It's kind of such a juxtaposition of all the different sights that you go to see. The water, the geysers, if you will, going up the ice. It is just spectacular. The waterfalls. It is an amazing, amazing place to be. And we have a wonderful season in Iceland. Now, what we do when we finish our Iceland season is we actually do a transatlantic where we bring the ship, the Star Pride, back to Canada or back to Canada, New England. Sometimes we bring the ship into New York, Boston, and then we go around Canada. And this is not a political discussion or comment at all, but some Canadians think, well, I might not want to be going into the US at this point in time. Our cruise for this year is completely sold out. I am showing you next year's itinerary. We only have one. If this is something that'll appeal to you, we need to start booking now. It's called Quebec and Newfoundland Adventure. It's on the 27th of September 2027. Going through to the 11th of October, and it is a 14-day itinerary. Now, as you can see from this, it's primarily in Eastern Canada. It does start in Montreal. You'll do Trois-Rivières, you'll do Quebec City. We do some other ports in Quebec, and then we do very heavily in Eastern Canada. But everybody, if you take people from one port to another port in one country, it's actually considered a ferry unless you go to another country. Look how clever Windstar Cruises is. You can see that little dot in the ocean, in the Atlantic, St. Pierre and Miquelon. You all know it's owned by France. Because we stop there, it's a small little fishing village, a small little town, a small little place, we can justifiably call this a cruise. And it is a wonderful experience. You're still going to benefit from seeing all the beautiful fall colors, but this is the one itinerary that doesn't go on into Boston and New York. And on that note, when I say we don't go into the US, I'm going to show you some other things where we are going to be going back to Alaska, and we couldn't be more thrilled. However, what I do want you to know is when we go into the Caribbean, we do not go through any ports in the US. You would not have to fly to Florida to get to our Caribbean destinations. Just to backtrack for a moment, this beautiful itinerary that I have mentioned to you, it'll start and end in Montreal. Well, I know it's close to you. You probably all know Montreal, a beautiful cosmopolitan city. We go to Quebec City. I'm just going to highlight a few of the sites that you'll see, St. Pierre and Miquelon. And now I am going to talk about Caribbean and Latin America. When we do the Caribbean and you go to your travel agent at CAA and you say, I'm excited, I'd like to try Windstar. I want to go somewhere close. And they might say, well, what about the Caribbean or the Caribbean? And you'll say, I've been there often. I've been there 1,000 times. Before you say that, I want you to know that Windstar's Caribbean is a very different Caribbean. We go to the small little places that you will not see a big ship. places like Virgin Gorda, Jost van Dyke, Little Bay Montserrat, and talking about Latin America, we go to Colombia, all these little beautiful places, colorful places. Some of them are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Going on a cruise, or what you think might just be a beachy cruise with Windstar, is not just about lying in the sun and lying on the beach. You will see the beautiful sites that we take our guests to in these unique destinations. Let me point out that we do a lot in Costa Rica, and we incorporate the Panama Canal as well. One whole day we traverse the whole of the Panama Canal, and if any of you have done that, I've only done it on Windstar Cruises, where it's truly that immersive experience, because our little ship was going through the locks, and when the locks opened and closed, our ship rose up and down. We were truly in the experience. Behind us was another huge ship, and guests, I have no doubt, had a wonderful time, but they were looking through binoculars, they were leaning over the banister, looking down at this engineering feat. It wasn't that moving an experience, in my opinion, as to what we can offer on Windstar Cruises. We have many itineraries going either from Costa Rica to Panama or in the reverse. I mentioned to you our James Beard Foundation culinary cruises. We have some wine-themed cruises. And I mentioned to you our Caribbean itineraries, where again, you're going to go to very unique ports of call that the big ships simply can't get to. Please have a look. If you are looking for a quick getaway, we fly directly, or you would fly directly into St. Martin, Bridgetown, Barbados, or we do go, some of our departures are from San Juan. But again, let me reiterate, you do not have to fly via the United States or any ports in Florida to get onto a Windstar cruise. Yes, everybody, our beautiful brand new ship, the Star Seeker, is doing her inaugural season in the Caribbean, after which I think you saw from the video, we are going to be able to go back to Alaska because we've got a ship now that can go there. Absolutely phenomenal experience to do this on a small ship. Whereas if when you go to Alaska on a big ship, you've got to tender in, get to shore, maybe do your shore excursion. With Windstar Cruises, because we're small, we actually go into the shore excursion that you would ordinarily do. We go into places like Endicott, Misty Fjords, Tracy Arms, and you've got glaciers calving right in front of you, and you're in your 2-person kayak or your 6-person Zodiac that we've launched off the back of the water sports platform. It is a truly immersive and a very different experience doing Alaska, a spectacular destination on a small ship. After Alaska, we'll be doing a trans-Pacific 13 days from Seward in Alaska over to Tokyo in Japan. And we're going to start again our beautiful 10-day itineraries called Grand Japan, doing this phenomenal destination, a culture that just blew my mind, remarkable people, interesting food. We will be there in the fall, and people think, well, I have to be there during cherry blossom season. Let me tell you, the fall is a wonderful time to see Japan as well. And again, I want to show you the itinerary where in other instances, you have to get to Tokyo or Osaka and do shore excursions into all these little places from there. Not with Windstar Cruises, because we take you into these little places like Shimuzu, Shingu, Takamatsu. We go to South Korea, we go to Busan. Absolutely beautiful destination. Again, think of doing on the brand new Star Seeker, going to this phenomenal destination. After Japan, we're then going to go into Southeast Asia, and we couldn't be more thrilled. You know, everybody thinks, well, it's really the river cruises that goes to places like Vietnam, Thailand. We're doing it, Cambodia. We're going to all these places, including Singapore, Hong Kong. Again, look at these incredible itineraries that are on offer, or please speak to your CAA travel agent. What I want you to know is the Star Seeker, after she does Southeast Asia, will be going back to Japan in the cherry blossom in the spring season. You're going to have the advantage of choosing which season you want to go. We will be doing a 3-year deployment, Alaska, Japan, Southeast Asia, back to Japan, back to Alaska, and we'll be doing a 3-year rotation on the Star Seeker. I'm going to end this. I think I took a little extra time, Patricia. I don't know how many questions we do have, but I want to just draw your attention again to our website, windstarcruises.com. Can I just remind you again, everybody, you will see pricing in US dollars. Please speak to your CAA, any travel agent. They will get the Canadian dollar pricing for you. But the second tab from the right, you can see I've highlighted in yellow. That's where you will see our specials, where we're offering our weekly, our bi-weekly specials, whatever is on promotion. But I'm going to just talk about this to you right now. Every Thursday, we come out with something called 7 for 7. We put 7 cruises on a deep discount for 7 days. This is your time to speak to your CAA travel agent, because they're going to get you this amazing rate, and they're going to be adding the CAA member benefit. Not only are you getting a deeply discounted rate, you're going to be getting the member benefit. If you want to find out more about this, please speak to your CAA, any travel agent for details. They've all been trained with Windstar. They all know the product. Please speak to them. We have, for those of you who travel as single guests, many of you might know that it's usually 100% single supplement. On Windstar Cruises, we charge a 75% single supplement, and some people think, well, that's a lot of money. We have a long, long list that your travel agent has of many beautiful cruises where we only charge guests traveling on their own a 20% single supplement. Don't walk out of their offices, or don't put down the phone from CAA until you've heard what we have to offer. At just 20%, you're going to have the trip of a lifetime. Trust me on that. Again, please speak to your CAA NEO travel agent for details. Last but not least, and you won't find this under the specials page, but I want you to know that we offer Canadians a 35% Canadian residence discount. 35% off our fares priced in Canadian dollars. This is only for Canadian residents. Again, CAA has got the list of all of that. They know what to do. Ask them for the list of sailings. It's not on every single cruise. Please be aware that some of these deeply discounted prices are not eligible to be combined with our current special promo that I mentioned to you. They're deeply discounted, but your travel agent will work out the best. Do you save the 35% and buy a beverage package, or do you buy a different fare and get it all included? They are the experts. With that, I want to say we can't wait to welcome you. I truly appreciate your time, everybody. We can't wait to welcome you on board. We're all looking forward to hopefully many of you joining us, if not all of you on this call. And I want to say thank you, Patricia, and thank you all for your time. I really appreciate this opportunity. Patricia?
Thank you so much, Andrea, for this. I'm excited. I was writing notes through the whole thing, and I just cannot wait, after being on the Star Class yachts, to be able to try Wind Class next. Is next on my list.
Or the Star Seeker. Or the Star Seeker.
Or the Seeker, exactly.
Yes, fantastic.
That's right. And I just have to say too, as you know, when it comes to dining, and I have a lot of food allergies, more than the normal average human being. And the fact that I never wanted for anything was just incredible. I always dined, well. They knew what I could and could not eat right away. And after all the, incredible, strenuous activities that we were doing in Iceland, to be able to come back on board and have these gourmet meals and I didn't want for anything was just incredible. Just thank you much for this presentation. We do have a question here. The photos in your presentation almost all show couples. What proportion of your clients are solo travelers? What experience can you offer to solo travelers?
We certainly do have, and that's a good question. And that is, in fact, why we do have our special reduced solo fares, because that is a big concern. We do have a lot of guests who say, I just don't want to pay those high prices because I'm traveling on my own. I want to assure everybody, and Patricia, you can bear me out on this. As a single guest on a small ship, you're going to be included in everything. It is just, you're traveling with like-minded people. You're invariably going to meet people that you get along with, that'll invite you or include you with their meals. We have some events where we invite the solo guests to meet and mingle with one another. Really, I suppose those are models, right? Cavorting around in all our pictures. But honestly speaking, we certainly do have, I can't even give you the exact number in terms of percentages, and I apologize for that, but that is what we do. We offer a lot of guests who obviously are in couples, but certainly cater to a lot of single guests or solo guests as well.
That's right. It is amazing what you are able to do. And then just that small cruise ship feeling, it can be very community, but if you like to be on your own, that's fine too. It's so easygoing. And I think that was a theme that you had, like dress code, talking with people, not talking with people is whatever you want to do to make your experience amazing. We
But
actually
this is
had oh,
sorry,
go ahead.
Patricia, carry on.
I was
Carry
just
on.
going to say we actually had one more question with regards to pricing in the Caribbean, or having an estimated price of what a Caribbean cruise would be. I don't know if you want to address that, but I did say in the commentary that there's a lot of variables that are with pricing out cruising. It's best to talk to your CAA travel consultant as well.
I
But I'll leave it
was
to you.
absolutely going to say that as well, because it really depends on the season, on the ship, on the itinerary. We don't have a set per diem per day. I wouldn't be able to say, well, it's a 7-night cruise, this is what it costs. It really depends on the destination, on the taxes and the port charges we get charged. It really varies. I can say that we've got some wonderful itineraries that might even be, $1,500. It could be $2,000, and you could do a longer one that could be, more than that.
Right.
Exactly as you've said, Patricia. And again, I have to say, going to the Caribbean, especially for a little bit later on this year, if you end your cruise before the end of March, take advantage of that fantastic offer that we're offering for you. It brings the price down significantly when you think you don't have to pay for all those additional things, and you've got your shipboard credit. But again, those prices are amazing. And as I say, being in Ontario, we can be blasé because it's either, I keep saying I'm in Toronto, a direct flight, but all right, on Ottawa, a flight into Toronto. And once you're in Toronto, it's a direct flight into the destination. But I have to tell you, it's easy. It's, the prices of the flights. I don't know, Patricia, you can speak to that, but I have to tell you, our pricing into the Caribbean is unbelievably favorable. But you do need to determine when you're going and how long your itinerary is.
Correct. We actually have a couple more questions, but I'll let everybody know too. If you do want to ask a question, you can type it in our question and answer, and we'll get to it. If we don't have time to get to it, we will make a point to reach out to you as well through your RSP, our RSVP. I got taxes on the brain these days. We have another question from Kathy. She said, where can we find the Canadian prices? Are the prices on the website Canadian?
No, they're not. They're all US dollars. That is why it's best to speak to your CAA travel agent, because they have all the links that we have provided them. And again, in their system, for those who work in our system, they're able to convert it into Canadian dollars. Or alternatively, our reservations department, they give us their special agent number, and we then price Canadian dollars for them. I do apologize again. We're waiting. It's going to be coming. WindstarCruises.ca website a few months down the line. But for now, as I say, the prices are shown in US dollars.
Great. We actually have a member here named Scott who has his hand raised. So Scott, I'm just going to unmute you, and then feel free to ask your question. Scott, can you talk? Can you see?
I can't unmute Scott.
I am clicking on unmute Scott. For some reason, it's not working.
There we go.
There we go.
Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't actually have a question. I think I must have hit that accidentally.
Oh, that's fine. No worries.
This is like an auction, Scott. If you move or if you put your hand up, you've got to answer a question. Otherwise, it's going to cost you thousands. No, we'll let you off the hook this time.
Yes, that's all right.
Patricia, people are nervous to ask a question because I don't stop talking. I'll give a long answer.
No, it's good. It's good. We have another question, which is, where is Windstar, the company, based? And which country are the ships registered?
The ships are registered in Nassau, Bahamas. They are registered there, but our company head office is in Miami. It is in Miami. It is an American company. Let me be completely transparent. But again, as I say, we're changing the way we do business with our Canadian partners. We price in Canadian dollars. We really accommodate our Canadians. And as I say, other than Alaska, which I mentioned to you, which I have to say we're very, very excited about, and other than some ports that we go to with Canada, New England, where we do go to Boston and New York, other than that, we don't go in and out of the US for any of our other itineraries.
Correct. All right. We do have another question here, which is, yes, Nora, the presentation was recorded. We will be posting that. Stay tuned. We have, our travel consultants will be just reaching out to see if you guys have any other questions. Oh, we have another person there. I think, Andrea, you need to unmute. It's Keith and Nancy. They have their hand up. for a question. Are you able to hit unmute?
Can you not hear me?
There we go.
No.
There we go.
Yes, I'd like to just talk a bit about, or could you talk a bit about the age of of your guests? We're in our early 80s, and we're wondering whether this might be something just a little too tough for us to handle.
Keith, I have to say, absolutely not. You know, that's why I say I hate it when any cruise line or any company says, well, this is our demographic from 45 to 78. I just say, don't put a number on because honestly, Keith, we have guests that are in their late 70s, in their 80s. We even have guests sometimes in their 90s who have come with us. And let me say, if you choose to do any of the shore excursions, there are multiple levels of activity that we provide. If you prefer to just maybe sit, you know, on our transportation and go and take some pictures when we get to a site, we don't make people walk up steep hills or do zip lining or anything that you're not going to do.
That's what I'd like to do.
There you go. That's what you'd like to do. I knew it. But honestly speaking, my previous VP of sales, I don't know, I think he was in his 50s. He says he was on one of our cruises and there was a lady walking behind him and she said, look, do you think you can move it up a bit? She says, you know, she overtook him. He says she was in her 80s. And there you go. Again, you know, we make it comfortable for everybody just so, and I'm not assuming or presuming anything. I can't see anybody. But if this is a concern, we have lifts or elevators in all our ships, except the two smaller ones, the Windstar and the Windspirit, the two small little ships with 148 guests. It is just 2 floors, you know, to go up the stairs. But all our other ships, we have a lift or an elevator, if that would make it easier instead of going up the stairs. We really do our best to accommodate all our guests. You're all VIPs to us.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Keith. All right. I don't know if we're able to go back to that last slide, but I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. I looked and that's all of the questions that we
I am
have.
sorry, Patricia.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I just want to remind everybody again, we have that incredible special that's on until March 27th. Is that correct?
The sailing must end by the 31st of March 2027, but bookings need to be made through your travel agents, Patricia, by the 31st of March 2026.
There we go. And we do have all of those great deals. Plus what I talked about at the beginning was all the stackable benefits that you have with CAA, saving up to 20% on your insurance. We've got that incredible delay pass that we have. We've got help with your passport photos and your IDPs if you need it as well. I say to a lot of people, why would you book anywhere else? We've got all of this available to you. And then our member benefits on top of this as well. As we say here, your dream vacation on Windstar is calling. Feel free to give us a call. You can visit bookcaa.ca. And then we have some QR codes there for those that maybe want to scan them. It tells us about upcoming events. We have travel talks that are happening throughout the year. You can book an appointment with our travel consultants to speak to them and get some more great information on these incredible sailings. That one in Canada just looks phenomenal. I can see why it sells out quickly. And then any of our past CAA Travel Talks are available on our website, but also if you scan the QR code, you can go there as well. Thanks again, Andrea, for all this incredible information and inspiration. And thanks to you all for joining us today.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Patricia.